We're going to talk about a very difficult subject, and that would be the subject of alcoholism. Alcoholism is something that affects a lot of people. It affects about 53% of Americans in the United States today, so I think that is a pretty staggering statistic that we found at Caring.org. One of the things we talk about is just how alcoholism doesn't start out being a problem. A lot of people start out saying, I'm just going to have this drink socially, it'll help me loosen up, I'll be a little be easier for me to talk to people that I know, and then before you know it, they drink just because they need the drink. So one of the things you want to ask yourself is, if you're living in the home with someone who struggles with addiction, you sometimes wonder, how did I get here? What did I miss? Did I miss this the whole time? Was this going on the whole time and I just didn't notice it, or did it get worse? And so you want to say, well, how do I help this person? Do they want help? Or how can I get them to that place of wanting help? So the other thing too, one of the things I learned in this is that the National Institute of Health reports that 15% of people living in the U.S. are considered problem drinkers. And of that 15%, 5 to 10% of them are males, 3 to 5% of them are females, and can be labeled as alcoholics. Now, you still say, where did this come from? Again, how did this happen? Sometimes it's not an easy thing to figure out, but there are warning signs, such as secret drinking when there's no one around, or hiding, not wanting anyone else to be around them. They'll spend hours alone in the room with no one. Then there's also other things. There's mood swings, frequent mood swings. There's physical symptoms of withdrawal. Now, there's also memory loss, blackouts. Well, I didn't say that. They don't remember saying that. There's over focus on alcohol. They will spend exorbitant amounts of time thinking about the next drink. Where am I going to get it? How am I going to get there? What am I going to do? Is there a party I can go to? Is there a social event? I'll attend it. Then drinking quickly, or chugging, chug. We've heard about that in college kids that are, it affects our Christian universities as well as our secular ones, private. All of them are in that same boat. I think that certainly the Christian organizations, I would hope that our school, Liberty, doesn't struggle with it as much as some of others, but it affects everywhere. It's not something that just happens to rich kids or poor kids. It crosses all of the socioeconomic genders or races, and it doesn't know a particular. There is no set person who can be affected by this. All of us can be affected. So you see, there's many warning signs. There's also different things to look for when you're wanting to help someone. The biggest thing is to show them love, and the Bible certainly talks about be not drunken with wine. That is something that I remember as a kid hearing that verse over and over as a child. And in my church we grew up, we're very strict, and we weren't allowed to drink. They didn't even want us to look at it, so it was not a temptation for us. But the Bible does tell us to be not drunken with wine, but be filled with the Spirit. So we want to be filled with the Holy Spirit. That's God's design for our lives. So I encourage you today, there are places you can reach out to, church organizations that can certainly bring you the help that is available. And there are people who love you and care for you. If you know someone who's struggling with addiction, I encourage you to reach out to them today.